Hey guys, it's Steve with Montana Musings Outdoor Channel. And it's still winter out here. It's colder than you know what, and about all I can do is think about stuff. So, um, as you know, a little while back, I loaded up some 145 grain ELD-X's, and I still have some. Got some of these 165 ABLRs and 130 grain trophy bonded, and the 155 grain LRXs loaded up. Um, but I'm starting to think that with a 20-inch barrel, these 145s might kind of hit the sweet spot. And especially, if you're loading, if I got like 40, say my 24-inch barrel, which I will have when I get that Winchester Model 70 back from getting the stock replaced. If I was going to run 4831 SC in that, I'd be looking at 3,061 feet per second. And just so it's apples to apples here, out of my 20-inch barrel, that same powder, we're going to be probably running around 2950. So and the BC of that bullet is 536. So it's not a bad BC, as most Hornady bullets aren't too bad. So uh, I guess what I was thinking is if I have these 145s, I'm able to still get pretty decent velocity and to be able to reach out, because like say a 400 500 yard shot, you're talking, I've got some on the computer here, still looking at 400-yard shot is a 22-inch or close to 23-inch drop, and you've got a velocity of 2372 out there at 400 yards. So, and I'm probably not going to take a shot much longer than that. Even if I went out to 500 yards, it's still 2239, which is enough to knock down an elk, even with a 145. So if that's going that fast with a 145, these ELD-X's that do seem to expand really well, that it's not going to blow up at those speeds. It's going to probably even stay together all the way through. My guess is that's what would happen. And of course, a lot of animals have been taken out with the ELD-X's, and a lot of people swear by it. Some people don't like them. It just depends. Like if you run into one that all of a sudden the elk pops out of a tree line and they're only 80 yards away, yeah, you might have an issue going that fast with these bullets, possibly. But if it's that close, why not just put one in the neck and just drop it? That would be probably what I would do. But that remains to be seen, as I haven't gotten one yet. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm kind of thinking that this ELD-X might be kind of the sweet spot for that 20-inch barrel in that X-Bolt 2. And I don't know. I'm just, like I say, I'm trying to think of how I can make that thing perform the way I want it to. I know even like the ABLR is going 2850, I think is what I was getting. That's really plenty of speed. It's going to get the job done, and I'm still getting, basically a bonded bullet out there. But one thing I know about these ELD-X is, in every other gun I've shot, I haven't got to shoot it in mine yet, but they're very accurate. So I always like that confidence, knowing that that bullet's going to go where you think it's going to go. So I'm kind of anxious to see how it shoots out of that thing. So, but anyway, I don't know, because everything seems to be the 20-inch barrel. Everybody's going to have a 20-inch barrel and a suppressor, and which is kind of why I got it. And that's why they got the 7 backcountry coming out now. But as if you know your bullet drops, you know the math. I don't even think it matters if you got a 7 backcountry or you got this 145 grain 6.8 Western going out there, hitting the right spot. It's going to do the job. So even out of a 20-inch barrel out of this thing. So yeah, I just think I don't know. I just had time to think here this winter because it's cold and not really being able to get out and shoot. So I just was thinking that might be the ticket. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. if I should just stick with the LRXs. The 130s are a little small, but they'd make a really nice deer round for sure, just for the heck of it. You know, if you're hand loading and you want to play around, why not? You know, so yeah, I don't know. You know, I've listened to those guys on Shoot to Hunt, and they have a different idea. They have a, well, they're not a different idea, but they really are a believer in a bullet that does a lot of expansion, fragments, does all those things, and still travels to the, you know, it might not go all the way through, but it travels to the other side of the animal, at least. And they just kind of like that damage that it does inside. It's like there's one guy that's on Rock Slide with those guys that they call him Form, and he said when those fragments come off there, like even in gel, the fragments only go this, like say this far. It's not like you got fragments going all over the place. You know, they don't go very far. It's within a certain area of damage that's going through that animal. So, and those little fragments are cutting tissue, and it's like a good example he said was when you've got that temporary expansion and those organs and stuff are just kind of expanded out and moving where they aren't used to being. It's kind of like having a rubber band pushed really taut and then hitting it with a razor blade. It just snaps. Well, those little fragments are that razor blade, and they're making cuts and a lot of damage to the tissue inside. So I know either way the bullets kill, whether it's the LRX or if it's these things. They get the job done as long as you put it in the right spot, I guess. So, but that's kind of what I had for you. Wondering what you think about what kind of a bullet you want to run in a 20-inch barrel where you're losing some velocity and you end up having to go a little lighter to get that velocity. I mean, how far down do you go? What kind of bullet do you choose? What kind of feet per second do you want to get out of that 20-inch barrel? I'm pretty happy with 2950 because even the factory loads with the 24-inch barrel, those ABLRs are on, I think on the box say 2970, and my averages were 2966 when I was shooting, and I had some as the barrel got broke in, it was actually speeding up a little bit. So, so if I can get 2950, my 6.5 PRC, they are going around 2960. So it's right in that, it's kind of a sweet spot. So I like that velocity, and this one should fit the bill. So anyway, like I said, let me know what you think. And hopefully it's warm where you're at so you can get out and actually do some shooting. So do some testing and maybe even doing some hunting. So hunting coyotes or whatever. But yeah, it's just a thinking man deal here. And so hopefully you can let me know what you think. So anyway, thanks for joining me. And if you like what I'm talking about and like the channel, give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.